If you enjoy curious and thought-provoking videos like this, subscribe and like the channel for more. World War III will not begin with a global press conference. There will be no gold-embossed invitations sent to world leaders. There won't be a breaking news banner proclaiming the end. That's not how this works. World wars don't start. They creep and slither into existence, bit by agonizing bit, while we're all busy arguing about pineapple on pizza or watching cat videos. They are a slow-motion train wreck. Everyone sees coming until it's far, far too late. Think about it. When did World War I truly start? Was it the shot in Sarajevo? Or was it the decades of complex, idiotic treaties and imperial posturing that made that single shot echo across the globe? And what about World War II? Was it the invasion of Poland in 1939? Or was it Japan's invasion of Manchuria in 1931? Or Italy's conquest of Ethiopia in 1935? History books give us neat, tidy dates, but the reality is a chaotic, messy slide into darkness, where for years people went about their lives, blissfully unaware that the foundations of their world were being systematically dismantled by madmen. The truth is, a world war is a disease, not a sudden heart attack. It metastasizes. It starts as a small localized conflict here, a special military operation there, a proxy war in a country you can't point to on a map, an economic sanction that feels distant, a cyber attack that's dismissed as a glitch. In the final 60 seconds, I'll reveal the date experts say we can't go back from, and why 2025 may be remembered as the year it became inevitable. Let's play a little game. I'll list some things. You tell me if I'm talking about 1914, 1938, or right now. A major power invades its smaller neighbor, claiming historical rights. Entangled alliances and defense pacts pull nations in. New military technologies are being deployed. Economic warfare, blockades and sanctions sound familiar because it should. Starter pack for global catastrophe. We're on Premium Plus. Look around right now. A brutal ground war in Eastern Europe with a nuclear power involved. Tensions are boiling over in the South China Sea. We have simmering conflicts in the Middle East that could ignite. These aren't isolated brush fires. They are interconnected. Proxy battlegrounds for superpowers. Ukraine, Yemen, the Sahel. It's 1914 all over again. But this time, hypersonic missiles and the internet. The parallels are chilling. Pre-WWI, frantic arms race, bigger battleships. Today, an arms race in artificial intelligence, autonomous killer drones, cyber weapons that can shut down a nation's power grid. We're building digital dreadnoughts. Back then, nationalism and propaganda via newspapers. Today, supercharged by social media algorithms, feeding a constant diet of outrage and division, turning neighbor against neighbor, nation against nation. Same old story, new technological gloss. Back then, a web of secret treaties. Now, a web of economic dependencies and fragile supply chains. The battlefield is no longer just a field. In the 21st century, the front line is everywhere. It's in your bank account, it's on your phone, it's in the electrical grid that powers your home. That's the terrifying genius of modern conflict. It's diffuse, often invisible, and happening right now. State-sponsored hackers are not some nerdy kids in a basement. They are digital armies. They conduct espionage. They steal intellectual property. They probe critical infrastructure, looking for weaknesses they can exploit when the time is right. The war has already begun in cyberspace. Think about the sheer number of cyber attacks we've seen on hospitals, on pipelines, on government agencies. These aren't random acts of digital vandalism. They are strategic moves, testing defenses, causing disruption, demonstrating capability. It's the modern equivalent of buzzing another country's airspace with a bomber. It's a threat, a message. And that message is, we can hurt you badly without ever firing a bullet. And because it's not a missile attack, we shrug, update our passwords, and move on, completely missing the bigger picture. Then there's the economic front. This isn't just about tariffs on steel. This is about nations trying to destabilize each other's economies. It's about weaponizing finance. We see countries stockpiling gold to insulate themselves from the dollar. We see battles for control over rare earth minerals. We see sanctions designed not just to punish, but to cripple. This is a siege waged with financial instruments and trade policy. It's a slow, grinding war of attrition that is already causing real pain around the world. And let's not forget the information war. So, why isn't everyone panicking in the streets? Well, it's because of a very human, very dangerous phenomenon called normalcy bias. It's that little voice in our head that insists everything is fine, even when, honestly, the house is on fire. We still go to work. We still buy groceries. We still binge watch TV shows about charming serial killers. The daily rhythms of life create this powerful illusion of stability, even as the global order is fracturing right under our feet. We simply cannot process the enormity of the threat. Furthermore, the nature of this conflict is deliberately designed to be confusing. It's a war fought in the shadows and in the gray zones. A drone strike in a distant desert? That's just a blip on the news. A cyber attack? That's a technical problem for the IT department. A currency fluctuation? That's something for economists to worry about. Nothing has the explosive, undeniable clarity of a Pearl Harbor or an invasion of Poland. The aggression is deniable. The actors are non-state. The warfare is asymmetric. All these buzzwords are just a fancy way of saying we're trying to boil the frog slowly so it doesn't realize it's being cooked. The media also plays a part. The 24-hour news cycle thrives on short-term drama, not long-term creeping existential dread. So we get a fragmented, disjointed view of the world. We see the individual trees. Protest here, a skirmish there, but rarely the whole dark, menacing forest. So, what's the tipping point? When does the creeping stop? When does the war officially begin in the history books of whatever is left of humanity? Many geopolitical analysts, military strategists, historians, the people who study this for a living, are pointing to a specific, terrifying time frame. They are seeing the convergence of trends, the arms races, economic decoupling, regional conflicts boiling over, breakdown of international norms. They're looking at the chessboard and seeing a checkmate scenario. And the year they keep mentioning is 2025. Why 2025? The reasoning is honestly chillingly logical. By then, several key powers will have hit crucial military modernization goals, shifting the balance of power in critical regions. Economic dependencies that once acted as a brake on conflict will have been sufficiently severed. Political cycles and rising nationalist fervor in multiple major countries are all projected to peak around the same time. It's the moment when the cost of starting a major conflict might, in the warped calculus of some leaders, finally seem lower than the cost of maintaining the peace. The year 2025 is not a prophecy. It's a risk assessment. It's the point on the graph where all the terrifying lines intersect. It's the year when the guardrails that have prevented great power conflict for decades, diplomacy, economic interdependence, and the terrifying memory of the last World War might finally erode completely. It's the point where a regional conflict, say over Taiwan or in the Baltic states, would no longer be contained. It would instantly go global. triggering that web of alliances we talked about and spiraling into something that nobody, not even the people who started it, can control. Today is October 3rd, 2025. We are here. According to those experts, the window to de-escalate, to pull back from the brink, has closed. The point of no return is not some distant date in the future, it's today's newspaper. The slow motion train wreck is no longer in slow motion. The question is no longer, is World War III coming? The question we must now ask ourselves as we look at the headlines and the chaos unfolding around us is this: how many more pieces have to fall before we finally admit it's already here? Don't forget to subscribe and like for more curious and thought-provoking videos like this one.